This is Gotcha Covered Sports, your one-stop shop for sports betting, sports fantasy, and sports talk, starring Danny B and Matt McCarthy. It's good to be back, Dan.
It sure is, bud.
We got none other than John Bradshaw Layfield, the Texan, the long, tall Texan that's a WWE champ and the Fox Biz Network guy, Dan.
Big fella down there. I love Johnny.
John, can you hear us? Can you see us?
I can see you and I can hear you just fine. It's good to see Danny. Danny B's a legend. It's great to be on the show with him. Matt, it's good to be on the show with Danny B.
Still want to drown them, Johnny? I know you want to drown them in that duck.
I want to take him to a duck pond. I got a duck pond right in front of the house, and I want to drown Matt.
Well, you know what? We've had some of these conversations off camera, John, and I am totally willing to throw down with you. I will suplex you. I will put you in a grapevine.
You couldn't crush a grape.
I randomly sent you pictures of ducks, yes or no? Just to let you know that we're going to the duck pond.
I have had some warnings about ducks from you, yes, in emails. And again, I'm going to take your Speedo. I'm going to sling it over you, and I'm going to dump you right on your shoulder. It's going to be a new move. It's going to be great.
It's good to be on the show with Danny.
Hey, you know what? Whatever works, because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a legitimate celebrity in Mr. John Bradshaw Layfield. And John, you lend some class to us. We kid you, but you do lend some class to our Gotcha Covered Sports. But you're in a similar world. You know, you're doing the Fox business thing. You're looking at stocks. Danny's looking at gambling tips. And you guys hit it off as a result.
Yeah, it's all a matter of predictive analysis. You know, you do the same thing with stocks. It's a little longer term. You look more at company fundamentals, and you're looking more, in my view, 5 to 10 years out, or at least the foreseeable future. Nowadays, with crazy politicians we have on both sides of the aisle, it's tough to look very far out, but for the foreseeable future, Danny does the same thing. He does his due diligence. He looks at what makes the most sense and does predictive analysis. So yeah, it's very similar.
And it's not a sprint for you guys. It's a marathon. I mean, you can do some day trading here and there, but overall, Dan, you're telling people, you're preaching,
Absolutely. Mini marathon versus a marathon in the stock market. It's still a marathon, but it's a half a marathon. The stock market, like John said, 5-10 years to see good gains. And it takes a lot of money in the market. Unlike sports betting, you don't need a lot to make a lot. You just have to catch the right wave. Money management, being patient is very important. But yes, it's still a marathon, but not as long as the stock market. That's what it's transparent, within 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. That's what I like about it.
And John, you're a big sports guy too.
Absolutely. I love sports. I played sports growing up in Texas, played a little pro football. I even coached football in college one year. I wanted to be a coach and got sidetracked being a professional wrestler, which turned out to be a wonderful sidetrack. But, yeah, my love is sports. My passion is sports. I wasted a lot of time today watching a boring tie of a game in the World Cup. But for the most part, I really do enjoy watching sports.
So were you huge as a kid? Like, did they look at you immediately, typecast you as an offensive lineman, or did you play other positions?
No, absolutely not. I was 6'6" when I was a senior in high school, weighed about 185 pounds. I put on about 50 pounds my first year of college just from a growth spurt. I was always big bone, just very skinny and very slow. For some reason, I put on a ton of weight, gained a lot of speed about my sophomore, junior year, and then had some injuries, which kind of hampered all that. But the growth spurt came much later in my life.
And the WWE, I mean, that's a pretty athletic thing that you guys do all the time.
Oh, my God. Have you ever been to an event?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I always was like, hey, but when I got to go to 3 events, my son over there, he fell in love with it when he was 12, 13, and those guys, I got to give them all the credit in the world. Athletic, tough, entertaining. My son got hit with Triple H's water bottle. Fantastic. Fantastic.
John, what was the training regimen like for you guys? Because you're doing shows all the time, too.
Yeah, back in, say, the 90s when I first started and was really hitting it heavy, we were doing 300 shows a year. Wow. So you look at training, the way training has evolved, Schwarzenegger and Columbo and Ferrigno, those guys did not do a lot of cardio. That only started, say, in the last 15 to 20 years. But we were wrestling every night, 30 to 45 minutes every night, so we didn't have to. You look at Muscle Beach back then. There wasn't any cardio machines. They just lifted weights and watched their caloric intake. Then they ate well. They drank a lot of beer, but I think the training and youth kind of helped with that. But we were much the same. We didn't do a lot of cardio. We did a lot of training. but we were wrestling every night, 30 to 45 minutes every night, so we didn't have to.
Right, that was your cardio. And are the guys on the same kind of schedule these days?
Not near as much as we were. I mean, that was brutal. We were on the road up to 300 nights a year, and that was insane. We'd do 28 days straight, do double shots on the weekend. I once wrestled 117 straight nights, counting double shots on Saturday and Sunday. These guys now still have a tough schedule, so I don't want to make it like they have it easy. They don't have it easy, but we had it a little harder back in the day. We were on the road a lot more.
Everything was harder back in the day, John. How many broken bones did you receive over the years? 3, 5, 6? How many broken body parts?
I've had 13 major surgeries.
Wow.
So I don't know, and I don't know how many bones. I broke ribs a bunch of times. I broke a couple of ribs when I was in Europe, and I couldn't take a day off because if you did, you didn't get paid. I couldn't afford to take a day off. I was scared of taking pills. You know, so many guys got addicted to pills, so I drink a little bit of Jack Daniels before I go to the ring for numbing.
Fair enough.
And I wrestled every single night with broken ribs because I couldn't afford to do anything else.
Oh, Christ.
And the thing is, they don't heal.
No, they don't. And the rings were as hard as concrete over there, especially in Vienna. We were working for Otto Vance and Peter William in the great wrestling federation over there of catch wrestling, where Fit Finley, Tony St. Clair, some incredible legends were there. But those rings were hard as the parking lot, and it was not pleasurable wrestling with those broken ribs for a couple months.
Who did you idolize, John, as a younger man or a kid?
I grew up in Texas, and so I didn't see the Northeast wrestling. So I didn't see the great Bruno Sammartino and Ivan Putski. I got to meet Ivan later. I got to wrestle with his son Scott when he was wrestling some. I got to meet Bruno later. I got to interview him later for the WWE Network. An incredible man. But my idols were from Texas. The Funk Brothers, the Funk Senior, Dory Funk, the Von Erichs, Bruiser Brody, guys like that were big time back in the 70s. I used to watch it with my grandfather.
Wow.
That's awesome. Guys, hold that thought because we got to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with John Bradshaw Layfield of the WWE and Fox Business Network. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the BennettMaseratiCheney Picks with Danny B.
We're going to go with Green Bay at 15-2. That's Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers at 15-2 to win the NFC. That's right. Green Bay will represent the NFC. It's a great bet. Lots of value at 15-2. So go Packers.
Been blind since I was 4. And I've never seen a beer commercial or a beer label. None of that stuff influences me. I drink beer because of the taste. And my beer is Pabst Blue Ribbon. It has the taste and the flavor.
What do you think's on the label?
I think there's a naked woman riding on a unicorn, jumping over fire. Oh, that's good beer.
Welcome back to Gotcha Covered Sports with Danny B and Matt McCarthy. John, you look like you're fully healed. You look like Bermuda's doing you a service, but you're also interested in this whole legalized gambling thing.
I am, yeah. I think it's going to change sports. I think it's going to change sports for the better. I think that people now are going to be able to sit there and gamble on sports in the stadium. I think it's going to make the experience much better. Same as fantasy football has done. It's made sports a lot more interactive. I think it's going to become a lot more interactive. I've looked at doing some stuff, even with Danny there, about doing something as far as predictive analysis. Same I've done with the stock market for years, and Danny's done with sports for years. I think the future is something of meshing of old school and the artificial intelligence. And I'm trying to create something right now with the help of several guys, including Danny. We have not a formal relationship yet, but a relationship, and look forward to hopefully debuting this product maybe the next month or two.
I'll tell you what, I enjoy every conversation. You have a nice nest of guys, your hive, as he likes to call it, his beehive. Jeff, for one, and we have a few guys there, and we're putting something together, and I really believe in it. I'm excited about it, John.
I am too, Danny. It's so interesting. You take the old school players, and I say that with respect because I'm an old school guy myself. So we're about the same age. But you mesh that with the artificial intelligence and what they call the Hive now, which is a gathering of experts, an aggregation of human experts' picks. Nobody's really meshed that together, and that's what we're trying to do right now. We got some incredible tech guys working with us, some great gambling experts and odds maker experts working with us. Hopefully, we'll debut a product maybe the next couple months.
And guys, the thing about it is that, and what we're trying to do here on Gotcha Covered Sports is make a guy like Danny accessible and make guys like in your Hive accessible, because people like me that we're just like, oh, I'm not getting into that world because it's illegal. Now that it's legal, and we're going to be offering a subscription package and an opportunity for people to say, oh, you know what? I can do that.
Let me give it a shot.
Yeah, and not kill myself.
It's not gray no more. I don't have to worry about any illegal activities.
Yeah.
And before you know it, it's going to spread. New York's got they put a little hold on it in New York, but we've seen it in Jersey, Delaware. I think, was it Mississippi?
I think that.
Don, is it Mississippi that's jumping on it? West Virginia's hot on it.
It's going to be everybody.
Yeah, it'll go coast to coast. It'll spread just like the gold rush. It'll go coast to coast.
John, what's Wall Street thinking about all this stuff?
Wall Street loves it. You look at guys, the traders, they love numbers, and so they love baseball, especially because baseball is really a numbers game. They love bridge, so they love gambling on anything that involves numbers. And when you really look at sports, the way that an expert like Danny does, it's all about numbers. It's not just about, hey, this is my favorite team, so I'm going to bet on. People are going to do that. And if that's what you want to do and you have the money to do it, you should do it. But it's all about numbers, and Wall Street loves numbers. I think Wall Street's going to be huge in the online gambling.
All right. Gentlemen, we're running out of time, but I wanted to see if you guys had any final thoughts about stuff on the gambling and legal gambling and sports betting.
I'm just excited. I've been waiting my entire career. As you know, Matt and John, I told you recently that I've been at this since '94, and it's been gray, and now it's not. So I'm very excited about the future, the possibilities, the new ventures that we're engaging in, and we'll see what happens. But I am very excited.
John?
I'm very exciting as well. I think Danny is a great guy. I've enjoyed it. I've not met Danny in person. I've talked to him several times on the phone. I've certainly emailed him many times. It's been very enjoyable, and it's enjoyable putting something together. This is as much fun as I've had in maybe my entire life of putting something together that's a predictive analysis that we hope to debut to the market. I think we're going to debut this in the, next 6 to 8 weeks, debut a service that we're going to have a pretty good predictive analysis of a combination of artificial intelligence with what we call the Hive and Danny's expertise.
Well, you know what I love about it, and people are going to enjoy it as well? It's transparent. You'll see what we've done. You're going to see what we're doing. And that's what people want these days. They want to, especially the millennials. Yeah. They're so spoiled. Yeah. They want to see instant gratification. You're not going to get that with sports betting. It's not going to come instantly. But if you ride the wave properly, you'll see some nice returns and have some fun along the way. So what's wrong with that?
Right.
The only problem is Danny's a Mets fan and I'm a Cowboys fan.
I'm a Cowboys fan, though. John, I'm a Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan.
I am a Cowboys fan. Big time Cowboys fan.
The problem is the Cowboys hadn't done anything since the 90s. They're driving me nuts.
And the Mets haven't done anything much since, 86? But no, I feel your pain, John. I go back to Chuck Howley, Dwayne Thomas, Bob Lilly.
You know, I love when Texas, you guys, absolutely. We're all
Mel Renfro, keep going.
We're all from like the same age.
Herb Adderley.
The same group. And I was a Giants fan when the Cowboys were just destroying us all the time. It didn't matter if you had Staubach. It didn't matter if you had Danny White. It didn't matter if you had Holger Boom. It didn't
Clint
matter who
Longley,
you had.
the Mad Bomber.
You were always beating the Giants.
From Abilene Christian. Same as my college, absolutely.
Remember Clint Longley, the Mad Bomber on Thanksgiving Day?
Went to Abilene Christian, came in on Thanksgiving Day.
Did he?
That bomb, I think it was Drew Pearson.
No, the Mad Bomber, they called him. They dubbed him on Thanksgiving Day. Dallas was down.
That's right.
I think they were down by 21 points or so, and little do you know, boom, 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 boom. What do you have, 5 or 6 TDs that day? The Eagles will not repeat. They will not win the East. They definitely will not win the Super Bowl.
Well, that's because the New York Football Giants are going to win the Super Bowl behind Eli Manning.
No, but they will turn
MVP
it around. They will do much better than last year, but Eli, he's a punk. I'm sorry.
Danny, you think the Eagles aren't going to win their division?
You know what? It's so hard to, on paper they look great, John, but it's so hard to repeat in any, except for Golden State. They do it like on a whim. Not the Eagles. I think the Eagle fans are going to be disappointed because of their arrogance. Very arrogant people there in Philadelphia. And their cheesesteaks ain't all that good, John. Not for nothing.
So, John,
overrated.
John, we are out of time, but where can people catch up with you on social media?
Social media, I've got my Twitter, my whatever you have, Instagram, all that stuff.
All that stuff. Right.
JC Layfield. People say, what does the C stand for? It stands for champ.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
No, it
The
doesn't.
people's champ. No, you are.
Hard to argue with that,
listen,
champ.
the longest running WWE SmackDown TV champ right there on Skype. What else can you ask for?
Here, man.
I mean, he played the bad guy, but he's the good guy here with us.
What was your record? Do you know off the top of your head?
I lost to Undertaker. I think about 1 in 1999 against Undertaker. I managed to hold on to the championship every week, but I didn't win many matches. Bad guys don't do that very often.
But you played a good bad guy, and you are a good guy, though. That's what we love about you.
That's right. All right, on that note, folks, we are out of time on Got You Covered Sports, but want to thank Mr. John Bradshaw Layfield for coming up and
a champion.
And waiting patiently to come on, Dan.
That's correct.
I did not wait patiently. It's great to see.
He was
Danny,
angry.
and I'm
Very patient
I'm drown
man.
you in the duck pond.
The duck pond.
And you know where I live, bro. You know where I live. Come
No,
on.
I don't know where you live.
Well,
We're not friends. I don't know where you live.
We're not friends, he says. He says you're not his friend, Matty.
You know what?
No.
I'm coming. I know where you
watching.
live. I know where you live, and I'm coming knocking.
Right over the Lincoln Tunnel, where the guy that used to sell the pretzels and the chestnuts. You can see his balcony from there.
Coming for you, Layfield.
Be careful, John. He's an angry Hank over here.
All right. All kidding aside, thank you, John. It's been a pleasure. You are a gorgeous, tall man.
And a Texan as well.
And a Texan as well.
Thanks, guys. Good talking to you.
Thank you, John.
Right. And on that note, on behalf of Mr. John Bradshaw Layfield and Mr. Danny B, that's another episode of Got You Covered in the can, Dan.
In the books.
In the books. You've been watching Got You Covered Sports, your one-stop shop for sports betting, sports fantasy, and sports talk.